Hey guys. Welcome to week 3. This is week 4. Week 4. Week 4. There's only 3 more weeks to go. So it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So I can see that a whole bunch of you are doing really well. So that's great to see. Great progress. Okay. So well, I know there's a few other regulars who usually who have turned up in the past. So I don't know, maybe you want to give them 5 minutes or so before you guys start talking. But other than that, I don't have anything in particular to say. I'm just here. If you guys need any help, I'm not to do with the quests, obviously, but if you have any general questions, I can answer them. If you have any concept clarifications, I can also answer them, provided that you guys take a crack first. Right. So if you have a concept question, you can ask your classmates. I'm pretty sure that at least one of you will know the answer to someone else's question. But it's possible that they may not be able to explain it in a way that clicks with the other student, mainly because they may not have had the opportunity to teach this many times. Since I've taught these things many times, I know the kinds of places where students get stuck, and the ways in which you can explain it if so one way doesn't work. Okay, so that is the only disadvantage you guys will have if you're trying to explain this to each other. Okay, which also, once you've done it a few times, you'll automatically know how to do these things properly. So yeah, so I don't have any question. I don't have anything to say. Anything specific to say. So if you have a question, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, what we'll do is we can just I will turn the laptop around to face the garden, and then you guys can converse, as I say, right? So you can talk to each other, and it's being recorded, so you can also refer to these later on for notes. So you can say, hey, you know what, Emily was saying something, and and then Carter jumped in and made a point there, but I forgot what it was. So let me, scrub the video and find out. Okay, and then let me make a bookmark under the video in the comments saying Carter said something at 22:42:43 or something like that. Okay, in the comments, so that it's really cool, isn't it? Because then you can just click on that time and it'll take you into that video, right to that place, so you don't have to wait or scrub if you know exactly where you're going. See, there you go. Vincent and Jerry just joined, and I'm pretty sure other people are going to join too, like Maitri and other people. They also were here last class. So give them a few minutes. Around 2:05, 2:10 maybe. 2:10, you guys can start talking in earnest about your, the issues that you want to address, or share information that you want to share with other classmates, or even have interesting concept discussions that you're going to clip out later on and share. Yeah, so you can have all of those fun activities here. Okay, so I'm going to hand it over to you now, right? Unless you have something that you have a very specific question for me, I will just hand it over to you.
I do have one question for you, Professor.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was getting some sort of error, and I think it was like a compiler error. If you could open the comments real quick. So if I typed in like hashtag define glib cxx use cxx11 abi1.
Oh, yeah. Hey, didn't you? Hey, Kyle, you made a post about this, right?
I
Because I
did,
remember
yeah.
saying, yeah,
Yeah.
because I was looking at the post yesterday, and I was walking. I was looking at the post, and then I saw something. I didn't know it was you, but I saw something with hash define and then glib blah blah blah. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought, okay, someone's doing something.
So, do you have any idea what happened there? Because I think like it has to do with the compiler using like a different version of C++ from like,
Yeah. I think I'm using I'm using C++ 11, or maybe it's no.
11.
I think I'm yeah. I'm using G++ 11. I honestly, I've forgotten. What was what was the latest compiler in 2019? That's when, that's when I put this together, and then I haven't changed that. Oh, actually, I did change it one time after that. I forgot when, but I think I used the flag. Here's what this is, the flag I use, and I think it's dash standard equals C plus 0x. Okay, I think this is what I use. Okay, but you can if you want to. Oh, I see. You want to put this in the code. Okay. All right. So I see what you want to do. This is the flag I use in the compiler line, and in the code, all you need to do is wow. Can you tell me what happened, Kyle? I've forgotten. I'm sorry. Okay. Can you tell me what happened?
I think I put it in the Reddit post too, but I actually pasted in like what the error looked like.
Can you paste the error?
Yeah, so
Here,
it's an undefined reference error. Here's an example.
Oh, you're getting a whole lot of undefined references, and then after you put this in, it went away.
Yes, because this is different somehow between C++.
Yeah.
I think that's
so all right, to answer your question, I don't know what's going on in terms of why is it latching on to a different version of C++, and then you have to explicitly tell it to use CXS11. That should be the default. Why is it? And this is happening on the questing side, you're saying?
Well, it's strange because I believe I used strings on the previous quest and it worked. But for specifically quest 5, this error came up and I had to go to Google and find this define line.
Yeah, this doesn't seem maybe it fixes it, but it doesn't seem like the right fix. All right, text undefined reference to. Okay, so it is defaulting to some other version. Let me take a look at your code. Okay, did you manage to get past it with this error, right?
I did after pasting in that that hashtag define line.
Shouldn't be required. That shouldn't be required. I'll take a look at your code. Okay, and you submitted with your student ID. Oh no, actually, you got it to work in the end. Is it possible for you to get the version of the code that didn't work?
Well, if I just remove that define line, it works.
If you don't mind, I can also do it. But if you don't mind, can you just remove that line and change the student ID to say Kyle Bug or something like that? And
then you just want me to like submit it again to the quest site?
Yeah, submit it again without this fix, but use a student ID Kyle Bug.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take a look. It's very strange. Nobody has ever encountered this before, so I'm guessing that something in your code is throwing the compiler off track and asking it to use a different version of C++. So I'm very curious to see what's going on. I will actually update if you make a post you've made a post, I'll update it in the subreddit. Okay, after I take a look.
All right, great.
Thanks. Any other questions? Everybody okay? Carter, you good too?
Yeah.
You weren't here last class. Carter, were you here at the last meeting?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, you were. Okay. Maybe I don't remember your face. But did you have a camera on last meeting?
Yeah, I did. I can't have it on today, but.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I do remember your face, but I don't remember that your face looked like a gray rectangle. Okay. All right. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Any other questions for me? Otherwise, I'm going to hand it over to you guys. I'm just going to be here. Okay. I'm going to be here. I'll be, out there maybe. But I'll listen to you guys, okay? And if you just have to call me. If you call me, I'll just be back immediately. And otherwise, are you guys ready to talk amongst yourself? Great. Okay. Just keep the airways occupied. Always keep the airways occupied, so that way I'll know that somebody's still here. Otherwise, I have to come back here and check if everybody's gone and stop the recording. So just keep talking about anything at all. and occasionally about technology, technical stuff and questions. All right. Thank you all for attending this class again. You only have 2 more. Is it? Yeah, this is week 4. We, actually, technically speaking, you only have 1 more meeting, but we'll make it 2 more. Okay. So let's also meet. Oh, that will be the Friday of week 6. That is after your midterm. No, after your final, isn't it? So next week is week 5 Friday. And the week after that will be week 6 Friday. But week 6 Friday is after your final. So it all depends on whether you guys want to meet or not. Oh, yeah, by the way, this meeting with Rick Morris, one of my past students. He did all the course, he did all of the courses with me, and then he went on to he already had a doctorate degree somewhere else, I think, but in a different field, maybe philosophy. I don't know if I'm remembering it correctly. I think he had a doctorate degree in philosophy, and then he wanted to learn computer science, so he came here. And then after finishing that, he went off to Georgia Tech to say, oh, I'm so jazzed up about computer science. I want to do more. And then he went to Georgia Tech and completed a master's in computer science. Well, I don't know, maybe data engineering. I haven't followed up with him after that. But he is interested. Right? He's not interested, right? So I was interested in having him come in and talk to you guys and to my CS2B students when I'm not there. And I asked him if he was okay with that, and he said, yeah, it'll be cool. And he sent me those hours. So Emily is the only person who said she wants to talk to Rick. So I will be arranging a meeting with, so no, I'm not going to be arranging a meeting. Okay. So because I don't want to, I want to totally not cramp your style, and I want it to be completely free form with me not even there. Okay, because if I'm there, you're not going to ask him kinds of questions that you would normally want to ask, maybe, right? So I'm going to ask him to set up a Zoom meeting with his, free Zoom account. With his, so everybody has a free Zoom account, and they can have up to 10 people in a meeting anytime, I think, right? If that's not the case, let me know so I can do something else for him. Okay, so I let him know to set up a Zoom meeting and to invite all of you guys. Well, not all of you, all the people who are interested in meeting him, like Emily and some other people in CS2B. I'll ask him to send the link, the Zoom invitation to them, or he'll send it to me and I'll forward it to you guys, but I will not join this meeting. Okay, so that means this meeting is going to take place in cyberspace, and I'm not going to be able to see what's going on after the meeting. If you guys and Rick agree that it's okay to share the meeting publicly, then I'll say to Rick, hey, Rick, if you're okay with that, put the video on our nonlinear media channel. Okay. And then when he puts it there, that's when I will see the meeting. Okay. So you can actually feel free to talk to him about anything. And you can also tell him, right? Hey, don't share this video. Or you can tell him, share the video, but take out the 5 minutes that I was talking about, something personal. All of that is perfectly fine. And so I'm not going to be there for this meeting, but I will set it up for you guys, right? I'll ask him to set it up and share the link with you. Okay. So, and let's plan for this to happen in week 6, I think. It depends on the Rick's availability, but I'll ask him if possible week 6, otherwise week 5. Okay, anything else? I'm pretty sure more students will also be keen to come and talk to you guys from next quarter onwards, right? So I have other students in 2C who are also very promising pep talk people, in the sense that who've done all the courses, and they are the right material to encourage all the younger students. So there are more people, and hopefully you guys will come back, right? You guys, after you do 2B and 2C, you're going to come back and talk to your 2A students. Well, not your 2A students, but whoever is teaching 2A at that time, if they're interested, and you can come back and talk to them. These things actually matter a lot, I think. I don't know. When I was a student, when my seniors who've gone on, finished college, gone on, they're working and they come back, we always used to be very keen to go and talk to them, right? Especially when the prof is not there, because, they come to our college and give a talk. And sometimes after the talk, They say, we're going to have a cup of coffee in the canteen, the college canteen, and the students just go with them, right? And they talk, and that's usually a lot more fun, I think, than standing in the podium and giving a talk. So this way, we'll just make it all informal, and you can have fun. And you can ask them if you guys are interested in data engineering, machine learning, data science, and things like that. Georgia Tech is a big place for this. And there are lots of Foothill students who have done my classes who are now in Georgia Tech. Okay, so that means they probably already view favorably students who've done 2A BC with through the questing system, because those students, I'm pretty sure, the ones who have gone on to Georgia Tech, they'll basically be killing it out there, because judging from their performance in 2C, I know that they're already set up to succeed when they enter Georgia Tech. Okay, so they probably did very well, impressed all the profs, which means that someone who did 2A, 2B, 2C and applies there, he will probably be looked at seriously by the admissions officer. So you should take advantage of all these opportunities, and I think it's also not very expensive. Georgia Tech is, isn't it OMCS? I don't know, but I think it's not like super duper. It's not like a Stanford fees or something like that. Okay, I think it's OMSCS program. I know someone who's actually doing a resident course at Georgia Tech, but she wanted to be away from home and all, so maybe it cost them more. But OMSCS is the online masters in computer science. I think it probably costs the same as a UC, or even less than that, I think, because it's all the way out there in Georgia, right? How much do they? It doesn't cost a lot to live in Georgia. All right. Okay, so it's probably a lot less expensive. So you should absolutely, and I'm pretty sure it's a good school, because a lot of students who come out of there, seem to be doing some really cool stuff. So you should aim for that if you're interested in data engineering. All right, everybody okay? So
before
that's all I
Professor.
had. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I resubmitted with the define line commented out, and it's working now. So I have no idea what happened. Something changed
I didn't
between
change anything.
Yeah, no, so something on my end changed between the time at which I submitted
I would
and got
very much
there.
appreciate, yeah, if you can somehow figure out how to make that happen. I would appreciate a copy of that code. Just submit it like we talked about.
Okay.
It never
Yeah,
happened.
I might be making a few submissions just to see if I can make that pop up.
Yeah. Go ahead. Burst mode and all won't matter for submissions that you send in. Requested submissions with the bug, special ID and all. So don't worry. Just go ahead and. Even burst mode, people get all worked up and tense and stressed out about, I'm submitting too many times. Am I going to run out of submissions? No, don't. Yeah, well, you can actually go ahead and submit as much as you want. Really, it's not like you have a million submissions. You have an infinite number of submissions. You can submit as quickly as you want. In fact, in the past quarter, I even had a student who said, I want to submit so many times to fine-tune something. It was okay. That was the right thing to do, actually, because he was trying to fine-tune some timing, and then he was trying different random numbers. And he said, I can't wait for the questing system to do this, circle magic and come back. So I'm going to write a script in Python, which will take my code, send it to the questing system via the API, get the results, and then look at the results, and then change my code and resubmit it. So he actually wrote a Python script. His name was Madhav Varshini, I think. And he was a student, 4 or 5 quarters ago. In fact, he just graduated. He graduated last, 2 weeks ago. It's on YouTube too. So he wrote and then he said, I've written a command line interface to the questing system, and all my Python scripts are free. Anyone can use them, and these scripts are now available on, I think, the CS Club website. I don't know where it is. You can always reach out to him, right? So he has this bunch of scripts, and you can use those scripts to basically say, I don't want to go through the circle thing. I'll just do it from my PC, from my phone, right? You got the code on your phone. You can actually submit it with the API. So you can do that. So the reason I mentioned that is because bursting and all those things, I had to put these things there to just close loopholes that some students were exploiting to not with an intent of breaking the system, but basically some students were trying to get points the wrong way. The wrong way meaning not unfair way. I say it is a wrong way because it is not a way that is guaranteed to help them learn, right? So if you have, you know what I mean? So if you have something to do and if you figure out how to cross and then you do it, then you know that the next time you come across the same hurdle, you know how to cross it, right? Otherwise, if you don't do that, and if you just say, oh, here's a hurdle and I'm here, I'm going to try jumping randomly in all directions, bam, 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 like that. In one of 5,000 tries, you're going to go over the hurdle. I say, I'm done, okay? And you can't, that way you can't keep marching on. And that behavior is what I was trying to prevent by both of those, right? One of them, I think I call the grinding system. So what is that? I've forgotten what the grinding system does. Grinding system is when you get something and then you make some minor change and resubmit it, not like burst like a bullet, but still it's very minor change, right? And then submit it within 2 minutes. So, and change something, and then I wanted to prevent that behavior too. And the reason for that is because every change you make and submit to the compiler, not even the questing system, your own compiler on your PC where nobody is looking, right? And you are the only one who knows what's going on. Even then, I highly discourage a grinding type of coding, which is you make a change and then compile it and run it, but you don't see the desired result. And then you say, I want to change something, okay, without thinking, and then resubmit it, recompile it, and change here, change here, change here. Very soon you've forgotten all the changes you've made and you're making the same changes over and over again. Yes, it's happened to me when I was a beginning coder. And that is not the way to learn computer science. The way to do these things is before you make the change even, think about what you're going to change and also play the change out in your mind, because that playing the change out in your mind is the time when you're actually learning computer science. Every other time, you're basically testing whether you learned already. So if you're never actually thinking about the change you make and you're basically just back and forth submitting, so you're not really learning, you're just trying to get past. And that is not going to help you later on. So before you make a change, just spend a little time thinking about what is this going to do? Why is this change why do I think this change is going to help me? If you have no idea why that change is going to help you, and you think that it's, if it works, that's great, right? No, that is not, then that means that you will get stuck with that bug one more time, until the time that you actually figure out, all right, that's what I need to do. And it's better to get into that practice early on in CS2A, because I know students who have just entered my 2B like that, entered my 2C like that, using outside credentials, but they were not really, positioned to succeed in those classes. And and then I see that behavior with them, and they're trying to correct it. But correcting this behavior after it has taken root in CS2A, when you go on to 2B and 2C, I can promise you it will be hell, okay? Because when you're trying to correct this behavior in 2B, you have something else weighing down on you. You've got a ton of bricks, meaning that you have this incredibly hard problem you need to solve, to which you need to devote your mental cycles, because those problems in 2B, they're not going away by themselves, just by jumping around, okay? You got to think about those problems and solve. And if you haven't developed the discipline and the methodology to think through what you're doing, and you just blindly do things and saying, oh, I must be a classic programmer because I'm just, whizzing past, then you will get a wake-up call in 2B and 2C, and wake-up calls are never, ever fun, okay? In 2A, you don't get wake-up calls, okay? In 2A, you only feel frustration and saying, well, this is so hard for me. Do I need to do that? Oh, no, I'm going to, miss out on this date, or I'm going to, I can't go to this dinner with my family, right? Or this Fortnite game that I've, spent so much time getting all these players together at the same time, different time zones. Everybody's going to log in at the same time. I'm going to play this game, but now I got to fix this because this quest is going to freeze. Okay, I'm going to sacrifice that. And so those are the kinds of things. Those are the only things you have to, face in 2A. In 2B and 2C, it's a different kind of bitterness, but that is really bitter. Okay, bitterness is finding out that you're not set up for something for which you thought you were set up. Okay, in 2A, you're learning, so you're not going to assume that you are already a king, right? So you're never going to have a wake-up call. 2B and 2C is where you have wake-up calls. I want to prevent that for you, okay? Because wake-up calls also, insert hurdles, because you're cruising along at 100 miles an hour. When you have a wake-up call, it's going to set you back to like 50 miles an hour, okay? And that's going to continue for several hours after that, because your mind is now disillusioned. And so let's try not to get there, and spend time, as much time as it takes, to just get the right coding discipline, okay? Because once you have the coding discipline, later on it'll be fun. Without coding discipline, it's not going to be fun. Yes, anybody who's tried to play a musical instrument knows that, right? So when you have the initial discipline, okay, then when you have these complex pieces, you can play around. You can play around with these notes, right? And you can because your fingers will be doing the dancing. They'll be going back and forth without even your thinking about it, because you've developed discipline for that. But if you haven't got the discipline, then at the same time as you're learning a complex piece, you also have to learn how much do I need to separate my fingers. Whereas if you've done this like a million times, you know already, C# from a G, that's how much I need separation for, okay? And that is not even your head, right? So your fingers will automatically do that. And and it's not just the piano or a violin, it's anything you learn, right? So ceramics, even things where you have to do acting and art, anything, right? So there are things that you have to do subconsciously and automatically. If you put that away, put that off until later, when you have to learn concepts and also learn this, then you're screwed. So don't wait to develop the muscle memory until the time when you have to learn concepts. Right now, I can tell you right now, right? 2A, not about concepts, okay? If right? So most of this is 2A stuff. There's no concepts here. You're just trying to put things together, right? It's a loop. Any language you go to, you're going to have the same loops. Any language you go to, you're going to have, if statements, and everything is standard and straightforward. So 2A, no concepts at all. You're just learning how to do these things, how to dance properly. And then in 2B, you say, all right, now that I know the basics, I can focus on the concepts. If you don't know the basics, you cannot focus on the concepts. Okay, those are the students who drop 2B and 2C. All right, so I don't want you to be one of those. All right, I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the progress I'm seeing. I'm seeing, the question system. If I can show you the screen, I can see it. I can show it to you. It's just rolling, right? People are just submitting, bam, 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 bam. It's just rolling. The early days of questing, I would see, one submission come in, and then maybe 5 or 10 minutes later, another submission come in. But now, if I look at the logs, it's just rolling. People are constantly submitting, trying things out, and it's a great deal of fun. It's a great deal of fun just to watch it too, right? And then when I see something interesting come through, then I can just pull the source code and take a look to see, hey, what is this person doing? That's really cool, right? So those are things that are available to me too. All right, nothing else from me?
One quick question just about
sure.
Just the grinding and stuff is like talking about like the 2-minute gap. Like for example, like if I just like left in main by accident, or just have like a quick string formatting error.
Like I said, Kyle, all of those things, I only enforce it for students who are trying to.
Okay.
So because previously I didn't have these things in there. I didn't have the monitoring, and and then some of the students who squeaked through unfairly said in the end they need points for this. I said, no, I can't give you points because you didn't do things like every other student. And then they went and complained to Foothill, and Foothill said, this is bad. You got to, if it's in the syllabus, you got to give them points. But I didn't feel right about giving them points because they didn't do it the right way. So I said, okay, well, to keep Foothill happy, I'm going to put in these sentences in the syllabus so that it's official. Now, if a student comes and tells me and I say, no, nothing doing, I can tell Foothill also, look, it's in the syllabus and they didn't do it. That's the reason, right? It's there to cover loopholes. And it's the same even out there, right? If you go to Costco or any of the big stores, right? They have these rules only to catch these people that are doing bad things. Most of the time, many times I've just walked out of Trader Joe's, not many times, sometimes, right? I've walked out of Trader Joe's, I found an item that I didn't pay for. in the cart or something like that. Well, not Trader Joe's, it's actually Safeway. Because Trader Joe's, they actually take care of these things. Safeway, and then I had to go back and say, let me pay for this. I actually told the story to a friend. And in fact, I wasted more time going back into the store and paying for the item at customer service, right? They walk you back to a counter and all. Then if I was to, just give it to them and say, I don't want it, I'm going home. So, so yeah. So that kind of thing. Okay. So every place, everybody wants us to just succeed and have a good time. Everybody out there. Okay. The rules are there just to catch people who are, unfair to others. So yeah, that's the way it works in this class. Okay. So don't feel afraid. You guys are all doing a great job. Okay. You're all working hard and I can see it. And that's all I want to see. Anything else? All right, so we carry on a conversation and have a great time.
Okay, so there's one thing that just came to my attention. So I've been using like the Michael Lokef notes website. But I'm pretty sure that his code doesn't have any indentation. So a lot of my formatting has been wrong. So like, where do you indent? Do you indent in braces and after colons?
Hey, I'm sorry, I want to jump in here. I just heard, who mentioned this, by the way? Was it Kyle?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, Losef's code is not supposed to be like that. It was all clean and well indented. So if you can send me a link to one of those pages, I'll take a look. Maybe it's some CSS thing that I screwed up in the
Yeah, it might just be like formatting on the website.
Yeah, just let me know. Just send me one of those links and I'll take a look. Thanks. Yeah, carry on your conversation about the indentation.
Yeah, just like, like it's like inside when you have like an open and closed bracket, you want to indent in there. It's just to like separate the chunks of code, right? So it's like inside a for loop, right? You want to indent that. And then
Okay.
inside an
And then
if.
when you have like switch case, there's like a colon after the case. So do you indent the?
Yeah, I mean it's all preference, but yeah. I think
Okay.
so.
Okay. When I run like on class 7, there's in enum type called sort order, and whatever I do, I know that I defined it as none at first and then by ID later on, but it keeps on giving me this error like variable not used. I'm not sure how to fix that. Like unused variable sort order. Is there any way to like solve this? I did use it elsewhere. I did define other values and use it in other functions.
Wait, what exactly did you do with the variable sort order?
Sort order, it's an enum variable, like one of 3 values, and I assigned it to none at first, and then like by ID and by name later.
Because when I did that, I didn't get any errors with my code. You did this in the constructor, right?
Yeah, I did it in the constructor.
Yeah, I didn't get any errors for that at all. Maybe, let me see something.
I need to set it to like a global variable or something.
No, I didn't do any of that. Let me see. I'll try figuring that out.
All right, thanks.
I'll let you know if I find anything.
All right, cool. And normally isn't like unused variable a warning, not an error. And so like it doesn't stop compilation.
In his compiler, it does. Like he doesn't, I don't think he lets you pass if you have an unused. Like it is a warning, but like he doesn't want you to, have an unused variable. So
Right.
he doesn't let you pass with that, I think.
I think if you have like a unused variable, it just shows a warning, but you still can execute the file.
Oh, you can't, right?
Are you using Windows?
I'm using Mac.
Oh yeah, you can. Do you know how to use the terminal to compile?
Right, I'm using VS Code to run the code, but like when I input it into the questing site, instead of a warning, it just shows as an error. But like the original thing is, like the main thing is that there's an unused variable, like it throws out a warning or error that there's an unused variable, even though I used it elsewhere in the code.
Interesting.
I've seen that warning before, but for me, it was always some sort of loop that didn't get run because something else was wrong. And so I would kind of look further up in your coding a little bit, and maybe you're skipping it unintentionally. Because I've gotten that error before too, but it was usually something else that was the problem.
It was in the constructor, which let's just try. Yeah, it's in the constructor that it says there's an unused variable.
And you know that it's like it's making a new object, so it's using that constructor, right? So
Yeah. Well,
Wait, I had a question. In your constructor, when you declare the variable sort order equals none, right?
yeah.
You give it a data type.
I had a data type underscore sort order all caps, and I put
I don't think you need that because it's already defined in the header. I think that's what's causing the error now, because now you're creating a second variable with the exact same name.
all right, let's try.
Because the header file already defines it.
Yep. It still says, oh wait, now it's, okay, yeah, now it works. All right, thanks. Yeah, that's everything I have. Like, is there anything that others, is there any questions that?
wait, so the fix was so you accidentally declared another one, even though, oh, but it was like already declared in the header.
Yeah,
Okay,
so you put the
there's
data
like
type
a
already.
duplicate.
So
Yeah,
it automatically created a new variable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any reason that you guys decide to learn C++ instead of other languages? Like, yeah.
For me, I mean, I've done AP Comp Sci, which is just like Java. But I felt like, C++ is like lower level. And when I mean by that, I mean like when I say
It's
lower
close.
level, I mean,
It's closer to the machine.
yeah, that's what I mean. So like I thought it'd be a lot more beneficial to learn like C++ and these like lower level languages, or C++, just to like strengthen my understanding of like computer science and just, in general, because it is a lower level. And yeah, and like what the professor was saying, like, right, like, C++, it's pretty easy to understand these other languages because it's C++ in these lower levels, like the root of all these other languages. So yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Ping?
So I actually learned JavaScript first. And then I realized I wanted to get some more like lower level as well. So I was looking at some other stuff like C++ and C, and I think they're also faster, right? Much faster than Java, JavaScript, Python. You compile the code and then you just run the machine code directly. And but do you guys know that like I feel like for like C++ jobs, they're usually like they're rare compared to like other language. Yeah, feel like for C++, it's normally for like game development, high performance finance stuff. Yeah, things related that you need speed. How about you? Like why? I mean, why did you like decide to learn C++?
I had done a bunch of Python stuff and I wanted to broaden my skills. I'm teaching robotics at my school next year, and so I'm still trying to decide which route we're going to go, and they use a bunch of different types, and so this was also to help build those skills.
That's cool.
What robotics competitions are you planning to do or go for in that school?
So I'm starting the program. FRC was definitely on the list, but I was trying to find a group near us that could mentor our team. And the only group that was nearby, like, totally won't talk to me. And so I found somebody nearby who does Vex. And then my students are pretty low level. So I was thinking about doing like the Lego, you know.
Oh,
more
FLL.
straightforward. Yeah. So if you guys have any resources on stuff that you guys have used, or if you know of any teams near LA that I could connect with, that would be awesome.
Like, are you guys all in California?
You're in Texas, aren't you, Ping?
Yeah, I'm in Texas.
I'm in DC, so
Oh wow.
so like usually in the beginning of these meetings, I usually go turn my camera off because that's like dinner time for me.
Oh, okay. Like, what makes you to choose this college?
Sorry, say that again. My volume was low.
Like, what make you to like choose a college in California instead of some other college nearby?
So I want to do a master's in computer science. I already have a PhD in math, but I wanted to just do something different because my job is I'm like a research data scientist for a consulting firm out here. And I have the math background, but not the computer science background. So I want to do a master's in computer science. But I also have no programming background, like no formal computing programming background. So I need to take prerequisites. And so I just looked online to see where people take prereqs, and Foothill and like De Anza maybe were like the top two that people mentioned. And both of those have the quarter system, which is really nice. So I'll be able to just knock out a bunch of classes in like 3 quarters and basically start a master's next year, I think.
Oh,
Otherwise,
wow.
like all the schools out here, I wouldn't have been able to start till the fall. And then there would be the spring and then the summer, if not the next fall. So that would have made it like a year and a half for me, or 2 years until I would be able to start.
Okay. Is there any master program that you plan to apply?
I like the University of Texas one. A lot of people like the Georgia Tech one, but I want to go, like my background is in research and the University of Texas program is more theoretical, more math heavy. So that's why I want to do that one. But the Georgia Tech one seems pretty good too. It's just more applied and I don't necessarily want to do as much applied.
You mean the one, the online one or the
Mhm.
on-campus one? Oh,
Oh
online.
yeah, all online. I'm not moving for a master's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did some research and found that the Georgia Tech one, I mean the UT Austin one is slightly more selective than the Georgia Tech one.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Like I've gotten into the Georgia Tech one before, but I didn't think that I actually had the prereqs. Whereas Texas requires
Oh.
generally like 5 formal prerequisite classes, like 3 courses in C++ or Java, computer architecture, and then something else too. I think the difference is Texas is more selective up front. And so they weed people out in the admissions process, but Georgia Tech just takes almost everybody. Not almost everybody, but like a lot of people. And then they weed people out through the first few classes.
So you didn't take any prerequisite and you just applied Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I also have an advanced degree, and when I did apply for it, I had worked as a research data scientist for 2 years already. So like I had learned Python and all that other stuff on my own. I just didn't have the paper that says, this stuff.
Oh,
So I'm a bit of a different case than a lot of people, I think.
maybe that's why.
I'm sorry, I wasn't quite keeping up. Were you talking about like specifically online programs?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The Georgia Tech one is like 7,000 for the whole degree.
Pretty cheap.
Yeah. And I heard that like some people, like once you get in the online program, and there's a chance that you can like convert to the on-campus one if you want. Yeah. So like other guys, are you like just surprised, like, so you guys in high school and then you can start taking like college classes? I'm not from here.
Yeah, there's dual enrollment. I'm actually a high school student, so yeah, you can take courses in high school.
So like if you take like a lot of like these like programming classes in high school, like when you go to college, right?
Right, but like there's like a limited amount of units you could have. Usually, you can only take like 1 or 2 classes.
Oh.
And another thing is you can't take classes that overlap with the school. So like our school teaches like Java, so you can't take any Java classes from here as
Wow.
well.
Is there any school you guys plan to apply to for college? Stanford?
I think the answer is probably just all of them, right?
Yeah, that was one thing that actually surprised me quite a bit the first time that we did have these office hours, or I guess during the first few days of class where we had the introductions, is how many people are like in high school and taking college courses. So I'm not really that old, but I didn't necessarily grow up in a state where education was very valued. I'm from the South, if that means anything to y'all. My school had no AP courses. I didn't have a university within an hour of me. There were no online courses to speak of at the time because I mean, now there's COVID, and so there's a pretty big reason for it. But even before then, I feel like online classes and online degrees have started becoming really popular. But like when I was in school, there was nothing like this. So I think it's really cool, really impressive that so many of y'all are, still in high school when I didn't take a programming class till like this semester. So like for y'all to be doing that this early, that's really neat.
Wait, I'm genuinely curious, how many of us are, if any, are college students? Because I am. I just finished my first year. None? Nada? One? Okay.
I'm joining as a freshman next year, so I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering if anyone was like already in college, because I imagine a good number of us are like high school seniors in dual enrollment.
Are you guys taking any other classes besides this one?
I'm in two in Deanza, the Python one and SQL. What about you, Ping?
Just this one. Yeah. And next semester I'm planning to take 2B, and then I want to take there's a architecture class in the answer, because I know like they teach different type of assembly. So in normally they teach what's that called, like MIPS, but in the answer they specifically teach 64, which is for the Intel chip. But yeah, anyways.
I think you need 2B before you can take the Deanza architecture class.
Is it 2B? I thought it was 2A.
Like, I think it's I don't know exactly how the equivalencies go, but like Deanza has the equivalent, I think, of 2A, 2B, and 2C. You need to have the first two courses in either like their Java or their C++ sequence before you can take the architecture. Whereas over here, I think you just need the first course in the sequence. But the architecture class at Foothill is hybrid. It's partially in person, so that rules probably a lot of us out, but definitely me.
Vincent, where are you exactly?
I'm in the DC area, Fairfax.
I was gonna ask about if you were in Nova. I went to high school in Loudoun County.
Okay, cool. And I'm pretty new to the area. I spent 5 or 6 years at Auburn in Alabama. So it's a huge difference from there to here. For lots
I
of
can
different.
imagine. That's insane. That's a really big change. Fairfax is super wealthy and lots of highly educated people and entitled people.
Yeah. That's actually a really big difference. I think so I'm not from Alabama, but somewhere else in Louisiana. And like I was mentioning before, my high school didn't have any AP courses or dual enrollment or anything. And so I'm from a very uneducated part of the country. And so moving to Fairfax, which I think was most recently, like 1 or 2 years ago, ranked the highest, like the most wealthy county in the country, where like there's a high school maybe 2 or 3 minutes down the road from me where there's sophomores taking machine learning classes. And that's just wild to me. So it's huge, huge difference there.
I was like trying to ask, like, are there any like specific type of like software engineers you guys want to be in the future?
Well, I think this is a really classic one, but I want to go like working artificial intelligence.
Oh, okay.
Field.
Yeah, that's very popular like right now. The AI, machine learning. Yeah.
Right.
For me personally, I don't have like a specific direction that I want to go, but I just know that like coding in general has the ability to scale impact beyond like, or like to a point where it's like never been before. You can code things and have an impact way larger than a lot of like technology that you've been able to do before. So I figured with like having some knowledge in coding, it gives you the ability to scale your impact and affect a lot more lives than you otherwise would be able to.
Has anyone here considered hardware?
Yeah, I kind of have. Yeah.
You kind of have?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, because I'm currently sitting in electrical engineering, and I have no idea whether I want to do hardware or software or neither. So I'm kind of just here to figure that out.
I think there's a major called computer engineering, right? Which is like half hardware and then half software.
Yeah, it's really strange actually. So I don't know how it is at other schools, but I'm at UCSB right now and the Santa Barbara. And the computer engineering majors do take some programming classes, but for the most part, almost all their classes are the same as electrical engineering for like the first 2 years. So if you wanted to transfer in between the two majors, for the first 2 years, it's like very easy to do so. Which is a little bit strange, but I guess it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, for computer engineering, usually like when they finish their degree, they will go to do stuff like embedded system programming, like C, like very low level stuff. Not sure if that's something that you are interested. Yeah. And then for computer science, probably like higher level, like application level stuff. I mean that's what I'm seeing so far.
For those of you who are in high school, did you get here through a pathway or through your own interest or robotics, or how did you end up here?
It's just like dual enrollment. They kind of advertise it if you want to take some extra courses. Like last year, because there's like an art requirement, for example, and I didn't really want to put that in my schedule. So like for example, last year I took art at Foothill, and then like I really enjoyed the dual enrollment. I feel like it was like time to get some extra classes in. So I thought instead of getting something aside, I'd want to do something that I actually want to do. So this year I chose to do like CS for like another dual enrollment kind of thing. And it's for credit, so it's like very beneficial.
Yeah, for me, I was planning on doing an immersion program at a university, but I found that to be much more expensive, and I found that this course was the equivalent to that whatever course they were teaching in that immersion program. So I decided to take this course, and I found it to be very, very like enriching, and I learned a lot. I'm still learning.
I did this course through my own interest because I wanted to actually just learn C++ in general. I already know how to code in Python and Java, so this goes in like way deeper, and I've like refined a lot of my previous concepts and knowledge of coding in general.
Yeah, that's actually almost the same for me. I kind of just wanted to take this course because of my own interest in the language.
I was actually going to go into middle college and I even got accepted. And then I realized maybe I shouldn't do this, just it didn't feel like the right fit for me. So then I thought dual enrollment would be a better fit for me and I wanted to do something I was interested in too. So I took the C++ course.
So were you guys just going rogue and coding on your own? Because I mean, like Vincent, there wasn't any kind of computer science at my school. And so I'm curious how you guys got started.
Most of like, for example, I mean, I'm pretty fortunate to go to a pretty good school that has like AP computer science as a course where we did like a lot of Java. So that's where I have most of my prior from. But like, I've done, coding classes on the side, right? Just like summer ones that like my parents might have like asked if I wanted to go to. But I think most of it's just from the AP computer science class that I took last year at the high school. Yeah, it was pretty good.
I'm also like I have a pretty small coding background, so I've taken like I took a course in middle school and then like a summer course here and there as well, but nothing that recent within the past few years. So this, especially with like this course's style, where it's kind of more of an individual learning thing, and you kind of learn based on just like learn by doing, I guess, like doing the quests. So I, I mean, I've been making use of Google, and then also my sister's a CS student as well, so she's been kind of just giving me some pointers here and there.
I got started just through internet itself. You can find a lot of resources. YouTube I used to like learn a lot of the coding concepts at first, and then I refined that through actual like projects. So you can probably just search up like projects with like using arrays. Like there's different levels, and then you just like get your solidify your skills through that. And then I ended up taking other classes for Python before, and I worked on projects there.
Yeah, like Kyle, I have AP classes. I took an AP computer science course last year too, but that was really my only coding experience. I've never did it for such a long time. Yeah.
I think I actually learned a lot through just like applications I learned. So this is actually my first like formal coding class, but like I know Python and Java. I've actually learned C++ as well a bit before. So mainly I just learned it because I had a lot of like different applications around me. Like I've done robotics and I've been in a couple internships. So it just kind of like, yeah, it's like similar learn as you go. So it's like I have an application and then I just search up like, oh, how do you do this? So you kind of pick up the languages like that. And then, yeah, some languages, like for example, like if you guys are aware of like Kotlin is pretty easy to learn if you know Java because it's pretty much the exact same thing. So I think like for me, it was like, it's pretty easy to stem from different languages once you know one. And yeah.
So like do you like C++ so far? Like do you guys like what do you think of like the syntax, the style compared to other languages? Do you feel like it's more annoying to write or something like that?
I kind of,
okay,
oh,
yeah.
sorry.
You can go
Yeah, I
ahead.
kind of like it because it's a very strict language. And I feel like strict languages are like, they prevent like, messy code to some extent. And I think a strict language makes sure you can make like less mistakes and and then, if you learn a strict language and go to a less strict language, like, Python or something, I think it'll still help you code in a better way. Because yeah, I like C++, although it's like harder. It's definitely harder to learn than like Python if you're just starting out. But I like it because it's very strict and and I think that's a kind of a good thing.
Yeah, I was thinking like, so you need to define the types, those kind of things. Like when you go to languages like JavaScript or Python, they don't have that. And sometimes it's kind of hard to understand like what kind of like data type is the variable or something. But sometimes I feel like like recently I think like C++ 2020 they add in a lot of like weird features and feel like it makes the language sometimes like I don't know, like kind of hard to stick. Like after a couple of days you didn't code in C++ and you realize you forgot the syntax. Not sure if you guys have like similar experience.
For sure. I feel like too, I'm often like, I know it can do this, but I don't know how yet. And so I feel like, and you see people Google it too, like, how do you do this in C++ or the equivalent of Python's this in C++?
Me personally, C++ was kind of an annoying language to work with at first because I came from just knowing Python. And like Kyle said, it's kind of a C++ is way more of a strict language. But once you get past those hurdles, I think you really feel like you've accomplished something that like you've just never been able to do before.
Yeah, going from Python to C++ can be rough. I definitely wish I would have learned C++ or even Java to begin with. It would have made my life so much easier. But I've also noticed like in my job where I strictly use Python and a few other languages too, but not C++, that I've become more cognizant of how I write code and have been maybe more efficient in my code writing. And it's just nice to see that just over the course of like 3 or 4 weeks that we've been doing this so far, or at least for me, how big of a difference it's actually carried over to other things. I'm also taking 30A, I think it is, the Linux class here. And so whenever I get a chance to, I'll like open up Vim when I'm coding stuff and just mess around with that. I absolutely hate Vim, but it's a good way to like basically get paid for practicing for the class.
Like I did all these like projects in Vim. Vim is like my main test editor. Like once you get into it, you know, like the shortcut, those kind of things, and then it's kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah. Do you got so you guys probably heard of like a swap, right? Like you know how to do a swap, like you create temporary variable and then you do a swap.
Like swapping things like in an array.
No, just like a normal variable. For example, like you make an variable A and B, and then you swap them, and then the
Oh yeah, then you need a temp. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Are you guys familiar with that? Like, have you heard of that?
I actually had to get used to that because in Python you can just create like a list with the two variables and like reverse it. But like, yeah, in Python, in C++ you have to do that manually.
Yeah, for me, just like in Java, I mean, which is a similar idea. We did a lot of like sorting algorithms and searching algorithms. So there are a lot of like modifying elements in an array or like even like a linked list. And like for that, they're swapping was my least favorite part. Although it's pretty simple once you get it, it's just annoying to do. But yeah, yeah, I've done swapping before from that.
So have you guys, do you guys think like it's possible to do a swap without creating a temporary variable?
It's probably not possible to do that unless there's like a function that you write.
Yeah, use a function to do that. Actually, I don't. I just learned a couple of days ago. Like, actually, like you don't need a temp variable to create swap. I'm thinking like yeah, let's see. But so somehow like I feel so nervous like so many people like it. Can I just like share my screen? Like I mean, if you're interested, you can take a look at it. If you're not interested, you don't need to watch it to do that.
Yeah, go for it. So you're saying you found a way? Okay, yeah. Can you should share your screen.
So it's my first time doing that. I'm not sure like where should I click? Just 1 second. I mean, like if you are busy or something, you don't need to like stay here to watch me do this. Hey Kyle, do you know like where should I click to share my screen? I never off. Is that
So
the
you
green one?
so you hit the yellow share, I mean, sorry, what? The green share screen button, and then it gives you all the windows to share. So you don't have to share your whole desktop, just like the window.
Oh, like the specific like the program or I mean the process, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can share your whole
Yeah.
screen if you want, or you can just share your
Okay.
IDE.
So like can you guys see this right now?
Yeah.
So for example, so I'm a bit nervous like writing code in front of a lot of people. But yeah, so basically when you do like a swap, so you need to like create like a temp variable, and then you do like a x equal to no temp equal to x equal to y equal to something like that, right?
No, you have to change it to y is equal to temp.
Oh yeah, sorry. So you usually yeah, let's see if it works first. X equal to 3 and then y equal oh no. Swap x y. So you see like 2 3, it becomes a 3 2. So the file they swap, right? Yeah, you know like this, and actually like there's a thing you don't need to create like a variable to do that, like in place swap. So like if you write like this, let's see. I'm pretty sure it's correct like this, and then you can still do the swap. Let's prove it first. I'm sorry. Yeah. So like, but like here, you don't need to use like a temp variable to do that. Like, do you guys like Can you see like what's happening here?
Wait, so what does that sign do? That's not, yeah, what does
So-
that sign do?
So this one is called the like XO. Have you heard of this one before?
Oh, excellent.
So basically it's like this. So for example, like 2, like we learned binary before, right? So 2 is like 0, 0, 1, 0. And then Y is what's that? 3, like that, right? So when you XOR them, it's going to equal 0, 0, 1. So that will be saved to Y. And then so now X is equal to, so X now is still equal to this one. And then Y now is equal to this one. So now we do the XOR Y again, but this time with stable. So X is still 1, 0, and Y is now this one. So now it will be equal 0, 0, 1, 1 equal to X. So and then so now X is equal this one, and then Y is equal this one. So when you do it one more time, and then this time we're going to save it to Y. So now X is equal to, and then Y is equal to this one. And then go to 0, 0, 1, 0 equal to Y. So you can see that like X become this one, which is 3, and then Y become this one, which is 2. Yeah, yeah, that's something that I learned like a couple of weeks ago, and I found this quite interesting, that you don't need to use like a new variable to do this. And then I feel like it's probably kind of cool, like later when you go to like a coding interview or something, and then they ask you to solve like a question that you need to swap, and then you just do an in-place swap, and then they were probably thinking like, what the hell is this? Yeah, just something I found interesting and shared.
Yeah, thank you. That's really interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you guys still here. Do you guys have any like interesting thing that you learned for the past couple of days or week that you want to share? Like, yeah, doesn't matter, just anything.
I found this, I was just looking up the XOR, but here's maybe like a helpful link, just a whole bunch of other bitwise operators and some examples of these other bitwise operators. And I think they have the example of swapping. So yeah. I'm probably gonna head out. But yeah, thanks a lot for, all this useful info for sure. It was really helpful.
See you next week.
All right, bye.
I actually also have to go.
See you.
Seems like a good time. I'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
All right. See you guys.
Bye. I think I'm leaving too. Bye.